It feels so good to have these doors open again. These have not been opened all winter long, except for when I was getting this beauty over here. But today's a sad day. Today's the day we started taking this bumper back off to fix this. Not proud of it. Not happy about it. We got to get it done. So I'm going to time lapse taking off this beauty, which means I got to take apart the whole front end, which I'm looking forward to. I'm so excited to start doing this again. No better time than now. Let's do it.
How could you ever love me? You don't even see me. I'm hanging around, wasting time, hoping that you drop by. And I don't pretend to know what you want. I don't even know where to start, but I'm willing to try.
Alright, so that wasn't too bad. It was maybe like 15-20 minutes to take it off. It's not a hard bumper to get off. It's just, you gotta take everything apart. Headlights, you gotta do all the brackets, you gotta do everything on top. Again, not bad. But I did fully gut the bumper. So I took out my markers in here. What else did I just take out? Oh, I took out the little brackets that hold the bumper actually to the fender and the lip. That was the other thing. So now that we have it all bare bones, I wish I did this beforehand, because everything is very dirty in here. And because this is fiberglass, that dirt worked its way into the fiber. So what I have to do is just take one of my brushes over there, one of my metal brushes, and just kind of get all in here and start brushing this out. So it might be a little hard to see, but this is all very, very weak. So what I'm going to do is reinforce this. As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by a battery dying. This in here, I guess I could just grind this down. This is all the fiberglass. I mean, this is all going to have to come cracking off. So before I actually do crack that off, I want to make sure I can just retain the shape here by putting some layers of fiberglass in there. And I feel a nice wallop right in here. I mean, you can kind of see that in there. It just bows out a lot right here. So we hit that pothole, I would say, pretty good. We did a fantastic job on that. So what I'm going to do is get my little scrubber, and we're going to start digging out all of everything in there. Okay. Got my little, this is my brass brush, and I'm just going to start taking it and just scrubbing away in here. I do wish I had something to hold this at a better angle. Alright, so now I need to break out my fiberglass. Guess where my fiberglass is? Oh, extras. Perfect. I spotted some extras that I'm just going to go and grab, and that's what we are going to use. I knew I had some laying around. We got ourselves a perfect amount here. You know what would make this actually a lot better? Thinking about it now, in which I also don't have any fiberglass resin. That is really what I need, and that stuff cures so quick. This stuff doesn't dry quick enough for me to be able to just kind of lay on coats and do what I got to do right now. Let me make sure you can see me. That's the one downside to using a tabletop, which obviously tabletop is not meant for an automotive use like this. Although I do use it, and I remember someone asking me if everything that I was using is pretty much able to be used for a car. And I would say, I guess the direct answer, simply yes or no, would be yes, because, I mean, my bumper is absolutely perfect. The only downside was just not using enough of it and reinforcing one side, and that's why you got what I got. But I mean, longevity, you guys remember when I was doing all the reinforcements in here, and I mean, everything in here is perfect. All of this came out fine. I mean, not that it came out bad or fine or any of that. It's just, it held up. It's strong. This is tabletop. And I feel the strength in that. I mean, every time I touch this, it's rock solid. It is absolutely rock solid. So I'm debating whether or not to hold off until I get fiberglass resin. Really don't want to. yeah, I don't think I'm going to. All right, that was a quick decision. So let's just get this done now. I'm gonna time lapse you while I mix up some of that beautiful resin. Let's do it.
Watching the flames burn higher, setting my world on fire. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, risking it all on you.
All right, so that's step 1 done and completed. We got our reinforcement fiberglass on. That took a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but that part is done. Now it is just going to be to sand it and take care of this. I did put a little bit of resin on this over here just to maybe work its way in there, and whatever fiberglass either shredded or got exposed in there, it would work its way into that. So when I sand it, hopefully it'll sand down nice, or better than it would have if I didn't do that. So now we're gonna get into the sanding after I give this thing probably about a day or two to dry. It's gonna be nice weather now. Now that the weather's nice and warmer, this thing dries much quicker. So let's get into the sanding. You gotta love the power of editing. This is now nice and sturdy. This will not go anywhere. I have faith in this, which is what I did to the rest of it, which I should have done to the corners, but for some reason I decided not to. But we now have a fully cured, hardened fiberglass. I don't know if you can kind of see it. If you look close, you're gonna see a little bit of like spider webbing over here, which is what we need to get rid of, and it goes down to like right about here. So I'm gonna probably go up nice and close to that. So once I re-primer this, all that will be covered because it'll fill in with the sand scratches or the spider webbing over here. No more flecks, no more flecks, no more problems. But it's these. If you look close, see this big one here that's hanging out? This is what cuts you. This just no forgiveness. Let's get that out of there before I cut myself again. Let me just stop it. It's also so satisfying picking at stuff like that. All right, let me start sanding this thing down, and then I don't want to put it in canned primer. I really don't want to do that. I just don't trust canned primer, so I'm probably gonna have to putty this, which I'll probably end up taking it back to where I painted it, which is my job, and then prime it there rather than using my router can primer, wherever that may be. So I'm just gonna put you on a time lapse now so we can get this thing sanded. Alright, I'm just taking a little piece of cardboard, spin it around, don't get it on the sides of the can because that's how you make a mess. Pick it up like so, squeeze a drop of that in there. Let's go apply some putty now. You're probably going to see me go back and forth a couple times between using the squeegee and my finger because sometimes my body is the tool. Let me give you a little overview. This could have been much better if I had my big squeegee here. I could have made that much more flush. The outside I'm happy with. That'll just sand down with some 220. Inside you can see where I just wedged it all in right in that little crevice in there. Oh, sorry, I'm finishing my coffee. Don't mind me. We are ready to sand. Things like this I usually would do by hand, but because of my time crunch, I'm just gonna kind of give it a quick hit with the DA, and then afterwards, if we need anything, I can always go back to it, and that is very, very interesting. I'm seeing more up here, so I'm actually gonna have to go farther, only with the DA, and then the primer. The high build should actually kill that, so we're gonna take care of that. Nice and smooth. Love to feel that. I know I said that as I was using the DA. I mean, just for the final shaping, for any edges that the DA might have left, just go over the final shape by hand. Now what I can do is take this and just flip this. Now you guys can see this. People wonder why my car gets so dusty so fast, even though it just sits. Yeah, this is why. This is why it gets so dusty and dirty so fast. Alright, so the rest of that could be 1,000 now before I prime. That's ready to go. That's nice. One coat. How awesome is that? One coat of putty to get that all finished. Very nice. Let me show you what we do. Okay. Look at this beauty here now. Now, we've gotten rid of all the cracks. You can see what they look like in here. This is something that the high build will kill. You can kind of see all the little spiders going down, the spider webbing. That, all the high build will kill, because then I will just sand that down with some 600 and call that all this over here. There's just a little bit of cracking going all the way up on this line. So I just did the same, following the inside just to reprime all this, get all this looking nice. That is what we want to see. Oh no, I did get that, okay. I thought it felt a little funny, but it was just the whole thing shifting back and forth. So, that is all puttied up. That is sanded putty. The next thing we got to do, take this whole thing, sand it down with 1,000, and we're ready to throw some primer on that, let that thing dry for a day, and then we can go over and finally repaint this thing. Next time you see me, I think we'll be sanding this. Alright, so right now we're going to go to work. We're going to come back, we're going to get this whole thing sanded, and we're going to get it prepped and ready for primer. I'll be back. If I had the audio on, you'd have been able to hear the events that have taken place while I was wet sanding. These doors blew open like, you know, like absolutely nothing, like chopped liver. Yeah, good. There you go. Anyway, we are all wet sanded up now. We are looking very good. What I'm going to do now is just run this thing under a hose. I want to clean the exterior of this, and I also want to clean the interior of this, because there is a lot of dirt and grime and gruck in there that we are going to take care of, and I need to get out so that when we go to paint it, nothing flies out from the inside. So that is what I'm going to do really quickly, and then I'm going to run this thing back down here, and you're going to see how it looks, because we need to dry it off. I'll be back. I was just inside editing, and I realized that I never gave you guys the full overview of what it fully looked like, wet sanded and completed. So this is how we look. There was a change of plans. This is 1,000. This is 1,000 grit, sanded down fully. That's why everything looks nice and matte, and it's all even. My original plan was to just keep it at this, to redo this, and then high build primer over that. But while I was doing it, this bumper, because it's made of fiberglass, has been so peppered with little rock chips that just, they all irritate me. So I've decided that because it's fiberglass and there's no give like a plastic bumper, how it'll absorb some of those rock chips, this thing just shatters. I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna 600 the whole thing down and high build the entire bumper. So I know you guys have already gotten to see that when I repainted the car, which I love redoing work that we've spent literally an entire week, day and through the night getting done, but now it's got to be redone. But while I did that, there was some other spots that I just took care of. So some of these other spots over here just in the fiberglass that I had missed while I was painting it, because I was just so focused on just doing what had to be done and I overlooked certain spots. So that's what's getting done now. But that will be for next video, the high build primer. Oh, also, new plan. So high build primer, repaint, repearl, reclear, and then the beauty of all beauties to kind of make up for some of that non-give in the fiberglass, getting it expelled. I'm just going to take the whole thing, put it in a clear bra, be smart about it because I don't want to redo that again. So that will hopefully avoid some of that. I hope you guys enjoyed, and just, I can't believe how close we are to 1,000. We are at 986 when I last looked at it, and that was this morning. I can't believe how far we've come. I hope you all have enjoyed. I've enjoyed every second of making these videos for you guys. It is just, while I'm doing it, why not just be able to give you guys a little let-in on what goes on with either owning this car or what you could do to any car. It's just, it's so awesome having just someone to kind of show and have people comment on it and just give me some of their opinions and just give me some of their awesome criticism and advice. I love it. I love it, and I love you guys for that. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.